Hey everyone, it's Steve at Kettle Ranch. We're going to have another video, this time on the Frost Free Hydrant. Love them, hate them, what's going on with them? Next, from Kettle Ranch. And so much for being creative and trying creative new places to videotape. The boys, they like that stuff. It says, it's cold down here. Yeah, okay, stay with us. Oh, by the way, if you like our videos, please subscribe and like the videos and hit the notification. Appreciate it. Okay, this is going to be a graphic intensive video. Most everything that's going on with the Frost Free hydrant happens underground, and I'm not about to dig it up to show you. The Frost Free, either love it or hate it, or a little bit of both. When you need it most, they tend to freeze up and not work, and when you just casually want to use it, it seems to work fine. A lot of that comes about how the Frost Free hydrant was put in the ground. If it's deep enough that the actual valve mechanism is below the frost level, if a pocket was made and backfilled with gravel below it, so that when the water drains out of the closed valve at the base below the frost line, it drains down into the soil, sort of like a French drain. Those are the two big problems with the Frost Free: being too shallow and not having that drainage underneath it. Third problem is, as you can see with this spigot right here, if you're marginal, if you're borderline on your drainage, borderline on your depth, then the cold air out here in the environment, because cold air sinks, tends to flow down that open spigot down the outer tube and actually can take the cold down below your frost level, or at least down to the frost level, very easy. So when it gets really cold, some of the Frost Free's hydrants will go ahead and, because of that air migrating down the tube, can freeze prematurely. A few of our Frost Free hydrants that we have on the property are so marginally operational that I swear if it gets down to 35 degrees Fahrenheit and the wind blows on it, they freeze up and don't operate. Well, quick look at the young dogs eating stuff they shouldn't be. I don't want to look too close. Back to the topic. So the idea with the Frost Free is it has a plunger that goes all the way down to the valve that's located beneath the frost level. That plunger, when you lift up on the actual handle of the Frost Free hydrant, pulls the whole system up with the water, the tube, the water comes up and out, pulls it up with O-rings. They let the water flow through an open valve and you get your water coming out the top. When you close the valve, that plunger pushes back down. It pushes the O-rings around an area that doesn't allow the water to come out of the valve. And then all the water in the plunger portion drains down into the gravel and away so that it can't freeze. And that is the problem with the design. If you don't have the proper drainage below that valve, and it's marginal as far as the depth of the hydrant, you'll end up with it freezing up, freezing solid. Right now, even though we're in the 20s Fahrenheit, we have 2 hydrants on the property that are frozen solid, and we can't use them. The other problem with the design is the metal outside of the valve, the exterior pipe coming up. makes a person believe that the inside is also metal. It's not uncommon for people who don't know about these designs to try to use a propane torch to thaw them out, thinking they can heat up that pipe and the heat will travel down to the valve and open it up. Well, there's two problems there. Number one, the inside of the valve is plastic. And number two, the plunger, hey buddy, the plunger that you're pushing in and out of the system, that is PVC. So if you put a torch up against this pipe and get it going real warm, it is possible to melt the PVC pipe on the inside of the metal tube. And that renders the hydrant useless. Makes a heck of a mess too, to get it all cleaned out and put back together with a new piece. Alrighty, operation of the hydrant is really easy. All you do is pull back on the valve, and if it's not frozen, out you go. Shutting it down, you press down, the plunger pushes all the way down into the valve at the bottom, shutting off the water flow, and then any of the water that's in the plunger will drain back down into the ground. One more time. Just that simple when it works. This is one of our valves that freezes up constantly. Pain in the butt. I've got some insulation over the outside of it. I'm going to be plugging off the nozzle so cold air can't flow down to the valve. But right now, it's useless. It's a pain in the butt. So, one thing not to do. Don't put a breaker bar on here, or cheater bar, and try to force this up. It'll either break here at the handle, it'll break down in the valve, the PVC plunger will break here on the inside. Don't do that. It's not worth it. In the springtime, I do maintenance on our hydrants. The Frost Frees need to be lubricated with silicone. That helps prolong the valve down at the bottom of the plunger. To do so, you need to turn off your water supply and loosen up, depending on the style. There's different ways that the plunger is held in the tube, the exterior tube. But you loosen up that mount and the whole system pulls right out. You end up with 5 or 6 feet of tube, PVC tube from the inside. It'll go down to the plunger that goes into the valve underground. That plunger has O-rings on it that need to be lubricated with silicone grease. Doesn't matter, you're not going to put way too much on. Just lubricate the O-rings, inspect them, and then slide it back down, put it all back together, turn the water on, and you should be up and running. Okay, question of the day. How many people have a hard time saying Frost Free Faucet? If so, try it 10 times fast. Take care.